and lock the door behind them. She would then rob the people of their intellect, and they would lose their minds. Finally, she would then turn them into animals and feed off of them. Something tells me this idea isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. And it sounds a lot like our churches today. Get them in, hypnotize them, steal their money, rob them of their senses, and feed off of them. Perfect description of most of our churches today. Nothing like the good old just hometown church, going to church, You get into these bigger feeding frenzy ones, and it's Satan at work. I mean, he would be amazed. He would be marveled, and I'm sure he is. He's always at hymn services. I don't know if you've been to my site at hiddenspeech.com lately, but I added some stuff on Benny Hinn, something I've been seeing all the time in his reverse speeches that I've done, is that he's always waiting for Satan to arrive until he sees his signal. And once he sees Satan's signal is when he starts feeding off of the crowd and calling up people to heal them of stuff, or giving people demons. That's basically what he does. But that's when he starts his whole charade on casting out demons or helping people, healing people. But the one thing you hear all the time in his RS is, I see the owl signal, I see the signal, I see the mark. Satan has the birthmark, this one has a mark. He's looking for certain people. I think he sees some kind of a mark on people that he knows that he can deceive. And he's also waiting for the owl's signal. He always waits for Satan to arrive for the signal. And that's something that you read in the second part of Revelation 13, where it says that the false prophet does miracles in the sight of the beast. And I always had Benny Hinn as a candidate on my list, my list for the top 10 beasts of the last days, Benny Hinn being a candidate as the false prophet. And then when you hear this stuff in reverse speech, he's just so prophetic. I mean, he's just lining up with Scripture. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he's a candidate. And he does it all himself. He makes it easy to peg him as one because he's lining himself up as one. We know, I have known for a long time, what and who he is. And a lot of people that have been fooled, deceived by his churches, or have been hurt by them, especially the ones that have been hurt by them, deceived by them, and come out of it, will turn around and tell you the exact same thing I've been saying for years, and that he's a wolf. And that's exactly what he is. So a lot of this reverse speech stuff's getting interesting. Some of the other things I wanted that I hadn't posted on the site yet, that I wanted to go ahead and give you some information on, is some of the stuff I've been sent. It's going to be about Tony Blair and some of the stuff he's been talking about lately. I guess a lot of his RSs, he's still talking about the meat collection projects. He says in reverse speech, all beef until we have enough. Then he talks about blaming the London bombings on terrorists. He says, talks about NASA. He's referring to it's one of the crafts when he says, it's in the chute, it's here now. NASA, he's aboard. And he's saying this in reverse speech, NASA, he's aboard. I don't know what that's in reference to. Then he makes a reference to Nibiru, and he says, sad that we need Nibiru. In Bush's reversals lately, he gives a time frame besides March. Bush saying the timing is still in question. They have to leave the time. They're leaving of the Earth perfect. Some people believe they're going to try to intercept Nibiru and Planet X. Some people believe that it's going to be moved up from March back to April. Either way, Bush is saying we move out by Easter. And then he says, service, my third year in and I'm gone. His third year in office would be 2007. And that's the closest we have about a year that he definitely plans to be gone by 2007, probably March or February of that year. We know that part of their plan involves gathering up bodies of those killed in Iraq. And it also accounts for the huge discrepancy in the numbers of reported dead and the actual body counts. because you'll hear their numbers of how many are dead, but then the bodies that are actually found, it doesn't match up. And we know that they lie to begin with on the death toll numbers, let alone not to be able to even find half the bodies of the numbers they do give us, because these bodies are being stored up. They're getting put in the meat lockers. They refer to Queen Elizabeth as being the boss, that many of them are underground already. And it looks like their plan is that they will leave from Rome and go to Cairo, Egypt, underneath one of the obelisks there. It's going to be some kind of a staging area as they prepare to move out. And Blair's saying, raise the Arctic. And I don't know if that's supposed to signify the raising of the Nile back in ancient times, where they're trying to raise the Arctic now. We do know that they plan on trying to raise Atlantis. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short break here, and I'm going to get back into the stuff when I get back. Be back in about 30 seconds to a minute.
This is the Reality Radio Network on Telstar 5 Transponder 5 and on the internet at realityradionetwork.com.
From Nazareth he came with ragtag bands to bring a revolution. Some would make him king, others couldn't stand for that. The cross was a solution, but he rose again. Wise men follow him, but he rose again. Wise men follow him.
And welcome back. One of the things that which I heard from one of these people that do IRS is that they've been getting a lot of IRS from elite politicians that are so horrendous that I don't even know if I would play them on my website that involve sex, children, and murder. But many more that have to do with their departure and meat gathering leading up to it. And folks, if you send it, I will put it up. As long as it's a legitimate IRS, try to send me both the forward and the reverse clips. I like putting both on my site so people can get an entire picture of what's being said. Yeah, you send it, I'll put it up. I don't care how bad, how gross it is. People need to know what's going on. And then you can't do it if you're babyfying them, if you're protecting them, hand-holding them. I don't hand-hold anybody. And so, yeah, you send it, I'll put it up. I think I had last week, and I wanted to just bring this up because I'd brought this up before, plenty on my show, about how Fatima was nothing but a UFO facade, that the Virgin Mary, these apparitions around the world, were nothing but holographics, and that it was practice for the HARP toys that they have, HARP, based out of Alaska. And there's a book that's out, and it says, New History Reveals the Truth About the Fatima Incident. Authors say famed apparitions in 1917 were close encounters with alien beings. And again, the same stuff I've been saying. The Fatima Incident was an important event in the history of religion. In 1917, 3 Portuguese shepherds, Jacinta, Francisco, and Lucia, suddenly encountered the Virgin Mary, illuminated in the splendor of heavenly lights, who told the children three secrets about the fate of the earth. The contacts were followed by an unexplained aerial phenomenon called the miracle of the sun, in which the sun was seen to dance in the sky by thousands of awestruck onlookers who flocked to Fatima. The apparitions were presumed to be a case of divine intervention in human affairs, a sign from heaven that the world war then raging in Europe should end, and a shrine sprang up at Fatima that drew millions